What's going on, guys? Aggronix, welcome back to the PCL Season 4. Today we jump into our playoffs round 1 game against the Master Yen and the South London Sylveons. I'm very sorry that this is a post-narration. I have the whole battle recorded with my voice, but at around the 30-minute mark or so, my voice just cuts. It's really weird, and after that, it's like the video just it's buffering all over the place. It doesn't work right, so it's just I just said yeah, I'd re-record it. This is the playoff round 1. We're facing Champ. Champ is a very good battler. You all know him. We faced him twice in the season 3, and once before we faced him in a monotype league. He beat us in the monotype battle. We've beaten him the last 2 times, so this is a really huge game for both of us. And he brought a very different team to what I was expecting. His team had stuff like Mega METEORIC, he had Nidoqueen, he had Staraptor, he had, what else did he have? He had, oh, he brought Pilot One, what am I saying? He had a lot of scary things. What was it? Tyrantrum was a huge threat as well. I was expecting Tyrantrum a bit, but he didn't bring it, so a very scary team, and Champ's a very good battler. Now, the reason I say that I was expecting Tyrantrum and Staraptor and Mega METEORIC, Champ plays very offensively most of the time, but this battle he actually went very defensive. Not defensive, but I mean, he has a low mola Tangrowth. I mean, you know, you can see what I mean. So, look, team preview. I'll just go through my team because obviously I don't have a team builder for this video, unfortunately. So yeah, I'll just go quickly over what I have. I have a Mega Absol, Adamant with max speed, max attack, with knockoff, Sucker Punch, Play Rough, and Swords Dance. Very strong. Outspeeds his entire team except for Mega METEORIC, which he did not bring. So Mega Absol naturally outspeeds everything, which is cool. We have a Choice Scarf Landers, Adamant, because Adamant still outspeeds everything on his team and puts in a lot of work. Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff, and U-Turn. We have a Choice Specs Kyurem. He doesn't have a fairy, so Draco Meteor is completely free. Hariyama is probably thick fast, so I have to watch out for that. And his only Draco Meteor resist is Jirachi on Team Preview, and in general, he doesn't have another Steel type, so I knew the Kyurem was going to be a huge threat. We have Cradilly, especially defensive to take on Mozzie, the Mega METEORIC, and the Nidoqueen, which both didn't come, so that was pretty unfortunate. Cradilly is actually running a Curse set with Rock Slide and Earthquake and Recover. Where Slowking, Homer, Slowking is running Calm Mind, Slack Off, with Psychic and Flamethrower. Psychic and Flamethrower is the only 2 moves I need to hit his entire team very well. And finally we have Registeel, physically defensive to take on Mons like the Staraptor and the Tyrantrum, stuff like that, with Stealth Rocks and Toxic, Ironhead, and Earthquake. So I was really happy with the team that I built, but I was very worried going into this game. And you see on Team Preview, he didn't bring Staraptor, which means he doesn't have a ground immunity for Landers. He obviously has Tangrowth, which we need to hit, and Piloswine and Alomola are very bulky as well, but I still have to be very careful about them. He did not bring, what else was I expecting? He didn't bring Mega METEORIC, means Mega Absol naturally outspeeds everything on his team, which is nice. He also didn't bring Nidoqueen, which is great because I was really worried about having to switch into that thing. So much so that I wanted to bring Cradilly over Zapdos, because Cradilly handles Nidoqueen much better than Zapdos would. And yeah, just overall, I was kind of surprised he went this route. I was expecting Staraptor and METEORIC over Jirachi and Piloswine, but he went very offensive this week. He went very defensive this week. I was expecting him to go more of an offensive route, because that's how he usually plays. He told me himself that he prefers an offensive style, and it's actually a style that helped him beat Isu. I think it was week 11 or so, and that actually was one of the big reasons he made playoffs, because of that really good game he had. So we're here. Winner of this game will face the winner of Herschel and Alfonso. That game hasn't happened yet, so I can't even tell you. But winner will play him, and I'm really looking forward to possibly playing them. But we need to get past Champ. So, like I said, but Champ is a very good battler. So, first turn, Registeel is sitting right there. I knew he was going to lead with either, you know, Darmanitan or Hariyama to stop Registeel, basically, or Piloswine. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just lead with Slowking and see what happens. And that's exactly what happens. He leads with Mountain, the Hariyama. I don't have Scald in this thing, so I just go for Psychic. As you can see, he does bring in the Alomola. It actually does a decent amount of damage. It was 22%, not bad. And right here, I'm going to predict the Toxic coming off this thing and go on to Registeel. As you can see, he does go for the Toxic, which is really good for me. Now, unfortunately, Hariyama can basically just come back in, so predicting Hariyama to come straight back in, I'm going to go for Ironhead. and that's exactly what happens. I get a nice damage off by 24%, which is nice. And we see the Flame Orb. Now, let me just stop it right here. Now, the reason... You see he went for Power Punch. I was expecting him to be more of an offensive Assault Vest set. To be able to take hits from Mons that I had, like Chandelure, like Kyurem. He didn't bring that at all. He brought Guts with Power Punch, so I was really, really nervous. Now, I stayed in right here knowing that he wouldn't go for close combat. I was expecting either an Ice Punch, predicting Landorus, a Hard Read, or Knockoff was the more obvious. I just decided to get up my rocks. If any Mon needs to die, Registeel isn't too important. So I just decided to get up my rocks. He goes for Power Punch, which is so scary. And you'll see he actually does not too much, it only does 33%, but still a lot of damage for Power Punch as I get up my rocks. And Registeel does get a little bit of leftover recovery back, and he's taking chip damage from Burn, which is nice. So, right here, he didn't bring METEORIC, he didn't bring Nidoqueen. I'm just going to sack my Cradily. Let this thing go down. He goes for Power Punch again. Cradily, very, very low. I'm actually glad Cradily lived that, so that he takes more burn damage. And now, Hariyama is in range of Landorus' Earthquake, so I'm not going to think about it. I go straight into Landorus. It outspeeds him, and it's not weak to Bullet Punch like Absol and Kyurem are. Absol isn't weak to it, but I just click Earthquake. Now, I was expecting the Tangrowth to come in, but this Earthquake to Lomola did so much. I think he was expecting maybe a U-turn. So, predicting him to double back out into Tangrowth now, knowing that another Earthquake will kill, I'm going to go on a Kyurem, and you'll see that he does exactly that. He does go into the Tangrowth, and I was so happy. So, like I said, no Draco resist except for Jirachi, which takes 40%. I'm going to go for Draco, and I miss. And that was really, really annoying. And he does knock off my choice specs, which is really, really unfortunate. Draco Meteor from that range, 94%, is a guaranteed kill. You'll see in a second how I know that. But that was really, really unfortunate. We lose our choice specs, which means I have no Mon on my team that can immediately just OHKO the Alomola, which is very, very scary, because I didn't bring Zapdos. Because I didn't expect him to bring Alomola, to be honest. But he did, so that's just kind of something we have to deal with. So he knocked off my choice specs. It didn't do too much damage. It's not the damage I care about, it's just the fact that he got off my choice specs, which is scary. So at this point, I was just like, I just need to kill this Tangrowth. So I'm just going to click Ice Beam. I'm just going to kill this thing. And as you can see, it's actually not going to take him out, showing that he was like specially defensive, and he goes for Leech Seed, and he gets a little bit of recovery back, and such and such. So that was really unfortunate. Now, he has Regenerator. He's obviously going to switch out. There's no point in him sacking his Tangrowth. His only switch into this Mon is, I guess, Jirachi? Yeah, Jirachi is his only switch in. He could have gone Hariyama, I guess, if he was thick fat, but he's obviously Guts. So, predicting the Jirachi or another knockoff, I'm going to go straight into my Mega Absol, and because I didn't want to take more Leech Seed damage. And as you can see, we're going to go into Absol, which is very, very risky play because Absol isn't very, very bulky, but he does go straight into Jirachi, and that is huge for me. That is absolutely huge. So, the Iron Bank is in, Sephiroth is in. At this point, Knockoff is kind of free against his team. He still does have the Hariyama, which can take the hit pretty well. But at this point, I just need to click Knockoff. If he is Scarf and he flinches me with Iron Head, I think I straight up lose this game. I don't think there's a way I can stop stuff like Alomola and Tangrowth and Piloswine without Absol. Kyurem is good, but Jirachi is going to be a pain in my hole if it is Choice Scarf. So I'm going to Mega Evolve. I'm going to go for Knockoff. And we do kill the Jirachi, which is huge. We were adamant so that there's no way he lived that. And you Shuca Berry, so showing me the probably prep for Kyurem. Now, knowing that this thing can't touch my physically defensive Slowking, I'm going to go straight into Slowking. I'm going to eat this Earthquake pretty well. And then right here, I don't have Skull, so I'm just going to click Psychic. There's no reason for me to predict. And he goes into Tangrowth. Oh, actually, sorry, I double out into Kyurem, knowing that he would go into Tangrowth. Sorry, I forgot about that. And right here, I make a bit of a misplay. I think a pretty big misplay, actually. Although, actually, well, we'll see in a second. I go for Ice Beam, knowing that he would go in Alomola because I knew that another Draco would be able to kill him, but I didn't take into account that he might have Protect. So, predicting a Protect, I'm actually going to double into my Mega Absol. And you can see he goes for Icy Wind, which is a little bit scary at the start because I was like, oh no, is he some man's faster than me? But it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to predict him to go for Scald or Protect, and I'm going to go for Swords Dance as he actually clicks Wish, which is great. Hariyama does not eat a knockoff at the range he is at 50%. I just click knockoff, and I'm going to kill the Alomola, which was so great because I was really, really scared of that thing. and now we're in a great position. He goes back into Pilot Swine. I know a knockoff can't kill this thing. I'm not going to sack Absol. There's no point. I'm going to go back into my Slowking. It's a very, very safe switch in. I believe he gets crit here. Yeah, he does get crit here. Doesn't really matter. And again, I don't have Scald. I have to click Psychic. And fortunately for me, he goes straight into Hariyama, hard predicting like Scald. And I'm just going to be able to kill the Hariyama, which is the biggest threat to my team he had. So that was huge. And now he's going to go into the Tangrowth, Mom Spaghetti. Now at this point, the only thing he can really do is go for like knockoff or something. So I'm just going to go straight into Registeel as he goes for Leech Seed. I was expecting him to have like Earthquake or something, and Tangrowth is the only big threat left on his team, so I'm going to go for Toxic. I'm going to Toxic off on something. He does stay in, get rid of my leftovers, but I am going to be able to Toxic this Tangrowth because it's huge. This Tangrowth is a really, really thick mon. It's hard to break down, but at this point we will be able to stall out the Tangrowth with a combination of Registeel and Slowking. He doubles out into, what's it called, Dimension right here, as I actually double out into Kyurem, predicting him just to stay in and go for knockoff again. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go straight to Slowking, as he actually goes for the Fire Punch. And right here, he's actually going to show me that he's not Scarf anyway. He's going to go for the Belly Drum and show that he's Salak Berry as well, which is very, very scary. Luckily, I don't fuck around with it. I just click Psychic, and I'm able to kill the Darmanitan, which is huge. And he's going to go back into the Tangrowth now. Tangrowth is obviously toxic. It's 5-2. There's no way that Tangrowth plus Piloswine is going to be able to break down the combination of my Mons. I guess he could if he got a few crits and he, you know, made some very, very harsh plays. I go on a Landers right here, and he's knocked off my Choice Scarf. Didn't really matter. Choice Scarf was literally the last thing there, just for like Darmanitan and stuff like that. I'm going to knock off his leftovers, just make the toxic damage more severe for him as he goes for Aerial Ace, showing me that he was prepped for mons like Virizion and Rabombi, which is cool. I can respect that. I go for U-turn right here. It doesn't kill, which is unfortunate. I go for into Kyurem, but he does go for Leech Seed, which means he actually will live this turn of Toxic. He gets a little bit of health back. And now I'm going to double. I think I'll go back into Landers, I think. No, sorry, I'm going to Slowking, knowing that he'll go into Piloswine afterwards as he goes for knockoff and does very, very little damage to me. So, yeah, right here he's going to go into Slowking. Again, I don't have Scald, but it doesn't really matter because Slowking's taking Rocks damage. He's taken, I think it's actually just Rocks damage he's taken, so I have to be afraid of this thing. 2 more Psychics should be able to kill this thing. I'm not going to mess around and try to preserve differential because it's stupid. We're in the playoffs. And I unfortunately get a crit right here, and I'm able to kill the Piloswine. So a 5-0 victory for the Cork Cyndaquils in their first game. Really, really surprising win. Well, not surprising. I don't want to say that like I didn't have belief. I knew that I could definitely play well. I knew I could beat Champ if I played well. But after the first few turns with his Hariyama setting up with power punches, I was getting really, really scared. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? You know, I had to stall it out for a while with burn damage until it was in range of Landers' Earthquake. I had to sack Dilly, which unfortunately didn't do anything this game. And yeah, it just definitely scared me. If he didn't sack his Hariyama to Slowking, well, he didn't sack it, he predicted the Scald and he just predicted wrong, unfortunately. But like, if he got that right, maybe it would have been a different game, because he would have gone for knockoff, I guess. But Landers is still bulky enough to take a Bullet Punch and kill it with Earthquake. So even Absol takes a Bullet Punch, no problem, and I play rough, so not really much you can do. I think the biggest thing for me was that he didn't bring... I guess METEORIC would have done too much. I don't know. I think Champ built, I think, with Saigai, because I think they showed. I think they said something at the start of the battle, and they were just like, I told you wouldn't bring that. But maybe they were just like, the only way to break my team is to go defensive, to run this route. And I don't know. I don't think that really suits Champ. I don't think Champ thinks that it suits his playstyle. I don't think he thinks it either. So anyway, GG to Champ. Very, very well played game. We are now moving on to the semi-finals, where we will play either Afonso or Harshal. Harshal we've played twice this season, lost one game, won the other. And Afonso we haven't played all season. I've actually never played Afonso. I played him once in like just a showdown game, but I've never actually played him in a draft league game. So that'll be really, really cool to play Afonso if he does manage to defeat Harshal. But we'll have to see what happens. With that being said, we're moving on to semi-finals. I hope you guys are excited. Make sure to heavy slam the like button down below for us. Very, very sorry this is a post-com. Don't worry, next week will not be a post-com, I guarantee it. I will make sure that the audio doesn't fuck up this time. It was on me. I was just fucking up with I was just fucking around with my recorder, and I changed the settings and I shouldn't have. So I fixed that now, and it should be good going into the future. With that being said, have yourselves a wonderful day. Make sure to come back for next week, and bye bye.